Queen's performance at Live Aid in 1985 is often considered the greatest live performance in history. But why? What makes it so special? Today we're going to dive into what makes this performance unforgettable and forever etched in rock history. Live Aid was actually organised by Bob Geldof and Midge Ure. It was a global charity concert aimed at raising funds for famine relief in Ethiopia. It was broadcast to 1.9 billion people across the world, making it a massive occasion, bringing together the biggest names in music. For Queen though, this performance came at a time where they were questioning their future. They had some ups and downs within the early 80s and there were concerns about their relevance. Live Aid was like an opportunity for them to prove to their fans that they were undeniable. Queen had just 20 minutes on stage, but during that time they delivered one of the most iconic live performances in history. Queen definitely had a great back catalogue of songs, but the set list they put together for this performance was just perfectly structured. They kicked off their set with Bohemian Rhapsody, an instantly recognisable song. You could argue that they could have closed with Bohemian Rhapsody, so it was such a bold statement starting with such a recognisable song. And the way that song starts with that emotional ballad section just immediately made a connection with the crowd. Freddie's vocals were just on point, he was perfectly in the zone, and he just sounded fantastic. And Brian May's guitar solo just stood out in that performance as well. It was just amazing. Interestingly though, they took the operatic section of Bohemian Rhapsody out of the song and they just smoothly transitioned into the next song. The next song was Radio Gaga, and Radio Gaga had already been a hit in 1984, so it was fairly recent and just had that massive stadium feel to it. And one of the most iconic parts of this performance is during this song where Freddie gets the whole entire Wembley Stadium to clap with him during the chorus. This song just highlighted Freddie's control over the audience and his charisma, and every hand movement and every gesture commanded a response from the audience. And you can really see from the crowd the energy levels just go through the roof. And it's these moments you just see how electrifying of a performer Freddie Mercury really is. And this moment is talked about as one of the most iconic live performance crowd moments in history. They then transitioned into the song Hammer to Fall. This is a more hard-hitting rock song, so it kind of changed the mood from anthem to this pure energy. And Brian May's guitar work in this song was just raw, aggressive, and had that just rock feel to it. And Freddie strutted across the stage and gave one of his most energetic vocal performances of the set. The contrast of this song and the previous songs kept the set dynamic and engaging and just moving along. It was then onto the song We Will Rock You, and they only played 50 seconds of this song, but it was like a huge adrenaline rush to the crowd, and Freddie used this moment to hype up the crowd even more while transitioning into the last song, We Are the Champions. This worked perfectly because this song is the ultimate stadium anthem, and Freddie delivered the most emotional vocal performance in this song, singing with passion and conviction. This song basically turned Wembley Stadium into this just giant unified choir. And as the song ended, Freddie raised his arms in that legendary farewell pose, and this image became one of the most famous in rock history. Freddie ended the performance by walking off the stage, waving while the crowd was still cheering. Interestingly, Bob Geldof said that during Queen's performance and shortly after, it led to a massive surge in donations, and was just a testament to how powerful the performance was. So when you look at their set list, it was short, it was impactful, it was powerful. They started off with a hit like Bohemian Rhapsody, following through to that just anthemic song Radio Gaga, through to a hard rock banger, and finishing off with We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions is just perfectly put together. And just the stage presence of Freddie, no one else can do that. And you had Brian May's amazing guitar work and just the tight performance of the rest of the band. I think it's really all those things coming together in this performance that make it great. It's funny that over 30 years later, that is still looked upon as the gold standard of live performance. I think one other aspect that couldn't be overlooked as well is that Queen just sort of wanted it at that time. They were hungry, they wanted to show what they could do in this performance, and it really came through. Another interesting observation of the performance is Freddie's mic stand trick. Apparently Freddie discovered this early in his career when his mic stand broke mid-performance, and he only performs with the top half of the mic stand. So you could see him doing that in this performance. Obviously it's his signature move, but I think that also adds to just his dynamic stage presence in this performance. Another little thing to notice is the Pepsi cups on the piano. I think a lot of people assumed that there was water in those cups, but there has been reports that Freddie had vodka in those cups. Another thing worth pointing out as well is that AEO call response during Radio Gaga apparently wasn't planned. Apparently Freddie just did that on impulse, and it's gone down as one of the most iconic live performance crowd moments in history. And another interesting thing to note is that Queen's sound during their performance apparently was the best of the day. Their sound engineer Trip Califf had boosted the levels beyond what the organisers would allow. And this contributed to Queen having that much fuller sound and helping them stand out from the rest. So when you look at their performance overall, it's more than just sound, it's almost like an experience that just transcends time and space. Is it the greatest live performance ever? I think it could be. I think it really could be. I haven't really found anything else that can top it. I just think everything aligned to make this performance extremely powerful. But I'll be curious on your comments. I'd really love to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think about this particular performance? Did I forget any details? But also, do you think this is the greatest live performance ever? Is there anything else that tops it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd really love to know, and I'll catch you on the next video.